Grading is like just almost a mandatory now. Late 90s, there's 3 or 4 people doing that. I was this younger guy who just I was like, this is going to be big. Now there's 3,000 people doing that. And that was really what kind of put me into a different level of financially, early on.
Welcome to the Trading Cards and Collectibles podcast on the Radcast Network. From chasing grails to calling bluffs and going inside the hobby. Are you ready to collect? Let's get at it. Here is your host, Ryan Alford.
What's up, guys? Welcome. Hey, I got introduced to Jason, our next guest, through a mutual friend. And we had a conversation that was supposed to be, 5 minutes, ended up being 55 or 2 hours. I don't even know. Now I'm going to just call him a brother from another. He is Jason Koonce. He is the founder and CEO of OTIA. I'm going to let him give that acronym and what it all means. He's just a sports card, past, present, future junkie. What's up, Jason?
What's up, man? So happy to be with you today, Ryan.
Hey, I appreciate it. I loved our convo a few weeks ago, and Darren Prince, a mutual friend, was like, you got to talk to Jason. You got to go to the expert. I'm like, well, shit, we'll get him on. Get on the phone and we're just going to shoot the shit, talk about maybe what we could talk about. Next thing I know, we're talking about our kids and traveling and sports cards and everything.
Two hours later, yeah.
Exactly, man. Where's home?
Michigan. We're just north. I'm a big Michigan Wolverine fan, so we're about 10 minutes north of Ann Arbor here in Michigan. Go Blue.
Go Blue, man. One Team International Agency, OTIA. We're going to dig into it. Let's set the table on the past a little bit. Jason's in the trading, hobby, sports entertainment, a little bit of everything. Maybe tell us a little bit about OSHA and your legacy in the cards.
This kind of started as a kid, like most people when they're 9, 10 years old, they're collecting cards, they're going to their shop. I was pretty into business from a young age, 9, 10 years old. I'm going out shoveling snow 7, 8 hours a day, building up a couple $100. So I had that part down in the making money. And then the unfortunate part was I would end up at the card shop blowing all my money on packs. And, at the end of the day, kind of leaving with just a bunch of stories of, opening packs all day and then back at it the next day. And in the summer, mowing lawns, in the winter, shoveling snow. So, yeah, literally for the last 30 some years, this is kind of all I've done is sports cards, autographs, memorabilia. The big thing kind of changed for me, especially at a very young age, is, 30 years ago when you went into a card shop, there wasn't the internet, there wasn't, they kind of had you, they were under control. They set the prices. It is what it is. It's a lot different with card shops today. They need to be much more on point and follow, the pricing and everything. But so, yeah, for first year or two starting off, I'm stuck in these card shops and there's not a lot of negotiating. What really caught my eye was when I discovered card shows, when it was more of the negotiating, the bulk deals and going from table to table, the flipping, the hustling. And I started doing this really young, 9, 10, 11 years old. And, I haven't looked back since. So, yeah, from starting off there to where we are today, it's been pretty wild to see this grow over the past 30 years.
Collectibles.show is where you'll find all of the channels and learn more about what we're doing. And ultimately, hey, we want to hear from you. You do case hits at collectibles.show. We want you to send in your favorite pulls of the week. And here's the difference. This isn't about just value. Hey, we want to see some $10,000 hits. Had a couple of those myself a few months back. But it's not just about the value, it's about what you're collecting. What means something to you? Share a story, share a video of you holding up the card that you hit last week that was your favorite player and you nailed it. So case hits at collectibles.show. Send in those videos. I want to know the stories. We're going to bring them to life here on the show. We're going to do a segment each week once we get rolling and get some videos in where we share that on the show with us. We want to feature you on Collectibles Show. You bring up a great point, and it's kind of has some meta connotations, and I don't mean the company. I just mean the way the internet and information and knowledge has empowered so many industries and so much change. Because I remember growing up and going to how big of dickheads were the card shop owners of the 80s? I hate to sort of put everybody in the bucket, but everyone in my town in South Carolina were jerks. You go in there, like you said, they didn't negotiate. They hold all the cards, literally, and they just all seemed like they didn't give two shits if you were there or not.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, and that's basically it. It's like they had a monopoly. Like whatever prices they said is if you wanted it, and you had nowhere else to go. You know, the next card shop's probably a few hours away, so no internet. I mean, early on for me, like, you know, like AOL message boards in like 95, 96, I started to dabble on the internet, but it was like just so new compared to what we have today.
Yeah, trying to get a value on something. I remember going to the Beckett book, you know, page 78, going to find the value of my 87 Topps Cal Ripken.
Yeah,
it was 87 cents today. It's 91 cents next month. Maybe.
Yeah, everyone's going off the Beckett. And honestly, like, I haven't used a Beckett in 20 years. So that just shows if anybody's like tuning in that, you know, collected cards as a kid, like Beckett was like the Bible. Now, you know, everyone's got real-time pricing apps with all the technology that's come to life. Beckett is long gone as far as pricing goes.
It opened it up, but it did change. I'm glad it forced the local trade shops or card shops to be more consumer friendly. It has sort of leveled the playing field from between consumer and shop owner, because we've been having these card shows like at my space here. You know, we've got 5,000 square feet. We've been doing little trade nights and stuff like that. And even my 9-year-old, you ain't getting nothing by my 9-year-old. Like, he's over here. Yeah. They're all walking around informed. They got their apps out. It's like everybody knows exactly what the cards are selling for the last 24 hours. Right?
That's one of the cool things. Like the big advantage I had kind of in the 90s was, like, right now, like you said, everyone's got pricing data in front of them. But really, back then, it was really like who had the best memory of what stuff was worth in real time. You could buy a deal at one booth and walk 15 booths over and flip the deal and make money. It's such a different world. And another thing we'll talk about is in the mid-90s, and this is kind of where I got lucky, you know, the internet coming into play, grading. Grading is like just almost mandatory now. And I remember being at shows in the mid-90s, and the head guy at PSA, which is the main grading company at the time, it was a guy named Steve Rocky. And he would come booth to booth and try to convince you on why you should grade your cards with PSA. And you have a lot of these old time dealers that are like, "Fuck yeah, I don't need your opinion. I don't need you." And nobody really got it.
Yeah.
And I was this younger guy who just like, I was like, this is gonna be big, and I just kind of bought in. And I started grading at like 15 years old, really young, and just I was PSA's biggest submitter for several years. But I mean, I worked my ass off, but like, I have to put some of the timing, you know. It's like if I was coming big into the market right when grading was taking off, right when the internet boom was taking off, like this was the perfect storm for cards in that era for me.
How was money made then for you, and sort of, you know, the arms and legs that where you made money in the industry, you know, and maybe as the industry as a whole versus today?
Yeah, so it's a massive difference. I mean, I've always shifted my business to kind of go with what's hot at the time. And, you know, grading was so new, but the margins were so, and you know, they're still today. I mean, perfect example, we'll take a, you know, Michael Jordan rookie card. Today, an 8 that's like a $7,000, $8,000 card, and a 9 that's $20,000, and in a 10 that's $200,000. So the same multipliers, you know, took place in the late 90s. We weren't dealing with as high a dollar figure cards, but the multipliers were there. So, you know, to buy cards ungraded and grade them, you know, you could 10 to 100 extra money. So it almost didn't matter. Like if you found stuff and had a good eye that was not graded and were able to get it graded and high grade, we were working on like dream margins. Yeah. And it didn't even matter when you messed up, because when you
made it up on 5 other deals that did.
Yeah. Just kind of born into like a gambling family, I guess. So I've always been a degenerate, but this was a way to like early on channel my degenerate gamblingness into something that was like heads I win really big, tails I break even or lose a little bit. So I kind of just went all in, and there wasn't a lot of competition. You know, it was so new. And now like you go to a show, 10,000 people, everyone's trying to find stuff to grade. And the reality is, especially when it comes to like vintage cards, you know, back then high grade stuff was everywhere on, you know, that you could buy. Now it's all dried up, it's all graded. So that was my first big money making, was just straight grading. And after a few years, the next level was, okay, how can we put fuel on this fire? And it was, everybody's thought once the card was graded, like it is what it is. Everybody saw a 9 in a holder and they just assumed, okay, like that's a 9. They didn't realize the human element of this, that on a Tuesday, the grader may give it a 9, but now on Friday, he's in a better mood. It's off the weekend. It's close. Maybe it's a 10. So now I kind of took a different approach to like walking around these shows, looking at stuff that was already graded and like high grade. And I'm analyzing like all these 9s in real time. And I'm accumulating just like massive quantities of 9s that I thought were on the fence.
You crack them.
So I'm like, I'm cracking it. And like Jordan, for example, like I've hit a lot of 10 Jordans, but I mean, I've cracked out hundreds and hundreds of 9s. So you have cards that are like right there on the bubble. They're like 9.7, 9.8. And you crack out 15 or 20 of those, you get 110, you kill it. So like I said, same time, like late 90s, there's 3 or 4 people doing that. Now there's 3,000 people doing that. And that was really what kind of put me into a different level of financially, like early on, the whole grading.
Is that still doable today?
Yes and no. So you got to remember, like if you come across like a Jordan rookie, unless it was freshly discovered from a new collection, there's a good chance that thing's already been looked at 10 times. Like if it's a nice 9, there's a reason it's in a 9. People that like me and then everybody else in like the last 25 years, they've all looked at that card and like, they're like, can this 9 go to a 10? Or like the game's already been played. So there's just no inventory out there. I guess it's there technically, but when you take the competition and also add in the fact that I don't do it anymore, let's put that. So like,
but what about newer cards?
Probably like, here's the other thing is the grading fees. When I was grading cards in the late 90s, like I was paying like $5-6. And now if you go to grade a high dollar card with PSA, you might spend $10,000 because they're basing it off of value now. So it's just all the fun has been taken out of the game.
I mean, I'm looking at it a little bit that way, but also just having fun with my boys. So trying to find both. I think we're finding the line. We're having more fun than making money. I'll say that so far, but yeah, I do see a clear path with what I do know and the people I know, like Jason Koonce, that there could be money to be made. So it's, but and it's okay with it. That's fine. It's more just, it's a lot of work. Like at these shows, man. Like, holy shit! With every kid and every person, like you said, it's not like that I don't want anyone to be informed so I can take advantage of someone. But man, it's almost exhausting, the constant deal making. Like it's because everybody thinks they know exactly what something's worth, and they do, but I don't know. When everybody's a pro, it's a little annoying,
It's different now. I mean, it was so easy like almost too easy to the point where when COVID hit, everybody kind of had time to like pull out their old cards and get back into it. And I think a lot of smart people realized, a lot of business minds like yourself, they all came in and they're like, this business is like, it was so unprofessional and, and everybody saw these opportunities. So like within the last couple of years, we've seen so many apps come out, so many business nothing changed from 2019 back. Like it was basically the same. And now there's just so much innovation, it's good, but it's brought in a lot more smart people, a lot of business people that have come in. They've added fees to different stuff, and like you said, taken some of the fun away. But it's turning into it was already a real asset class. One of the major things for COVID was I've always been bullish on cards. Probably 70% of my net worth is in cards and memorabilia. But there was always in the back of my mind, like, am I crazy having this type of money invested in this? And I was confident, but really when COVID hit, like the confidence boost for me went from like 70 to 100%. When if you ask me what could tear down our business is if you took away sports, off TV, basically everything that happened in the beginning, if you took all it away, I'm like, the card market's going to crash 99%. And there was like this 6-week gap where I guess not just cards, but the whole world was kind of in limbo.
Yeah.
And I was panicking. I had a lot of money, but all on paper and in inventory. And then out of nowhere, like you just see the market just like go like this and then just take off. And that for me it was good on multiple levels financially, but also just like the feeling of knowing, okay, like this has been cemented as a real asset class and nothing's gonna, I don't want to say nothing, but like it is what it is. This is now a real asset, and you see people shifting money out of the stock market into some of these massive $1 million cards because they believe in sports cards more than they do the stock market or some of the other bullshit going around. That's been really exciting for me to see, just being in it from the very beginning.
Everything, the vault is doing is first class. I mean, look at this activation. You're bringing the whole state, the concept together. As a brand guy, they win the brand award so far. The Vault. And what else would you expect from Tom Brady, the GOAT?
Is that real?
Yeah, it's real. Note to self, open card store with one of the GOAT players of all time. It might be successful.
That's with Ben Affleck and Tom Brady, another guy.
The Dunk Kings.
Look at those. 1 of 1.
Yeah. Oh my God. No. That Jordan down there, is that a 9.5? Yeah.
Michael Jordan, LeBron auto. Holy cow. How much is that, Joe Burrow? What do you think?
Probably 12 grand.
Yeah, it looks.
That's the 1 of 1. I got 10.
Who was that? 10.
Oh my God.
Who was that?
Corbin Carroll.
Or Reed Shepard.
Tyler Hero will be here.
What is that?
I got you. I got an
1 of 1. No, I'm kidding.
We pulled a worthy out of a retail pack of all things. Yeah, if it'll fit in there, that's fine.
Would you like a receipt?
No thanks. So these both have redemption. All right, now we definitely have to get in line. We have 4 or 5 packs here.
The YouTube factor. You've got these influencers and guys opening packs. I'm not talking about like selling and whatnot. I'm talking about just the opening packs on YouTube. You got King of Cards, Kyle, kind of building his little brand up. This is not unique to trading cards. This is the smart people in any industry have figured out, that attention is money, and the internet is your oyster and the social media is your oyster. What's your take on all of that and the impact on the industry?
2 things. One, personally, it's so wild to think that, like going back to the early 2000s, we didn't have cameras at shows. The thought of filming at a card show, when people asked you what you did for a living, it was embarrassing to tell them you bought and sold sports cards.
Yeah.
Usually they would hear sports cars and then you wouldn't correct them because that's cool. It's completely shifted. And people say, I can't believe you don't have content from the show. It's like, dude, we were not in a content world to begin with. And then on top of it, we didn't want people.
No transparency.
It wasn't even a thought in our mind.
No secret. You weren't letting those trade secrets out.
Yeah, the secrets and just it's like you're not going to pick up chicks telling people you buy and sell baseball cards. So, fast forward 20 years, everybody's doing it. And now it's cool. So to me, that's just such a shift to see it go from 0 to 100 as far as the cool factor goes. So that's part one. The second part of your question is, what do I think about it? And a lot of these guys are newer too. They saw there's a chance to make, there's content, there's clickbait, there's stuff, there's ways to make money through the content, obviously. So, a lot of these guys, they're not experts. They've come into the hobby in 2018, 2017, 2019. So they don't know a lot. They know enough to kind of talk about it. So some of the information is just the blind leading the blind as far as these are new people talking about cards. With that being said, I think the guys that have good intentions, it's good. It's all positive. The guys that are negative, whatever, it's clickbait, it's whatever. I don't think that's if someone's new to the hobby, that's their first experience, it's not good. So all the guys that are putting out good content, I think it's growing the hobby. I like seeing it. I know a lot of those guys. They're good. They're good people. So I think it's a net positive overall. I think it gets watered down a little bit when you got guys who don't know what the hell they're talking about. But I think the really big guys at least have an idea of the hobby and stuff. So it's just mind-blowing to me.
What you're saying is you guys are taking some collection of cards and repacking them into, 4, 8, 12, 20, whatever it is, into a different rebranded name, and you have a higher % chance of ROI than you did maybe from manufacturer, and maybe even a larger hit rate or something, with the better cards. I'm trying to short phrase that, but is that?
Yeah, exactly. Well, and liquidity. So generally, let's just say the repack is, each repack is one graded card. And, let's say the repack costs $200 and, over the span of the repack, the lowest card in there is going to be 40, which you have to have $40 cards in there, because in that same repack you want to put cards in there that are 1,000, 1,500. So, but you're pulling something that's instantly liquided, or there's instant liquidity, versus out of a traditional pack, 99% of the cards are all commons that are just going to get chucked. And then let's just say you do pull a good card, then it needs to go off for grading. There's the waiting. Repacks are quicker. There's generally like a floor and a ceiling. So you kind of know like what's my minimum, what's my max. The only thing with traditional packs is you do have that lottery ticket, which has kind of been the game the last couple of years. You know, like every so often they're going to have I'm sure you saw the Paul Skeens card, debut sold for 1.3 million.
Yeah.
Like that's one person that hits that.
Yeah.
So for one person that hits that like $1 million lottery ticket, there's all the other stuff that just,
Yeah, you only hear the good news.
That's stuff that I just think that, and you do see it, like the repack is just getting a lot more money. Like a lot of these guys that like to spend money on high dollar, they still open some packs. Like I still open packs. For me, it's just pure entertainment though. Like me and my kids sit down and we open a box or a couple boxes and spend $1,000. I'm not planning to get any of that money back. Like I'm just like entertainment, donation, having fun, and give them the cards and let them do it. So I think when you go in with that mindset, it's okay because it's the same as going to a sporting event or going to whatever. So, but the problem is you got people that they don't look at it as entertainment. They're looking at it as like making money opening packs. And during a long haul, that's just not going to be sustainable.
No, don't do that. Go buy singles and resell them or put them in your collection. But don't. I do the same thing with my kids. We open, 3 nights a week, but I'm looking at it purely as time with my kids where they actually want to hang out with me and we have fun. And it's a surprise and delight moment if we get something great. And if we don't, I'm not, forfeiting their future, like that's part of, why I'm doing this series is to remind people this is a lot of fun. It has a lot of great attributes for whoever's into it. It doesn't matter because there's a trading card and a hobby, variation for everyone. But at the same time, it is an asset class now and needs to be, put on the pedestal that it's earned through a lot of the, time that you've put in, Jason. Being one of the pioneers and people that have been through it all, it sort of deserves its moment in time. You guys are selling on Whatnot more than anything else. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm assuming. This technology and live selling thing, being in marketing and business, I've been preaching that for about 7 years and telling people that it was coming. It was before COVID, by the way. I was at a FedEx event. People looked at me sideways and I'm like, you just wait. It's a fascinating part of the industry. What say you about live shopping?
I wish I would have met you 5 years ago because I was on the initial call with Grant, the guy who started Whatnot, and I still have the email that I look at like once a month because it's ridiculous. They're basically saying, hey, I got this idea for a live selling platform called Whatnot. I want to talk to you, investor. So I had a chance at I
wish I had known you, man. I would have, if you'd have gotten that call, I would have gone in with you.
I was still I think if I was younger, I would have understood it more at the time. My question to him was, I go, so you want to run a 30-second auction at 1 p.m. on a Tuesday? And they said, yeah. And I said, that was ridiculous to me. But I didn't really process it the way now, obviously, and I'm one of I think they're number 2 seller on the entire platform. But at the time, if I would have stopped and thought even on eBay, all the bidding is in the last few hours and even sniping the last second. The first 6 days of a 7-day eBay auction is irrelevant. So this was just I've had plenty of hits. I've had plenty of misses. This was a miss for me. So it's just kind of funny now looking back when I was just so anti or bearish on just not bearish. I didn't understand live streaming. And now I think we're still really early. I think live streaming is the 4th or 5th biggest thing in my lifetime to come about, the internet, Bitcoin, social media, live shopping. To me, live shopping is the 3rd or 4th biggest thing where people are going to get really wealthy. And in the next couple of years, AI obviously, but you're going to see everybody Walmart, Costco, they're all going to have lives. Either they're going to be pushing stuff through other platforms or they're just going to create their own. And I'm very bullish on live shopping. It's still early. I still think as far as it is, 95% of people still don't know anything about live shopping. So,
yeah, I think the trading cards and the hobby is a lot further down that conversion path, for their target audience. But it's going to meet this professionalism that you talked about earlier. That's where I see it. That's where I kind of have my brain thinking is like, as the business as a whole, where I think about, okay, well, if Ryan Alford's going to get in on this thing, it's going to be in this professionalism, marketing, content, but there's a delivery with the live shopping, which you don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. So it's not that it has to be overcomplicated or too sophisticated, but I do think there's rooms and dials to be turned with all of that experience.
Oh, it's huge. We have 7 studios that we've built out, and we're constantly making them better. But like a lot of the people live selling, like they're still live streaming like out of their garage.
Yeah.
You know, like, so we're kind of a little bit ahead of that, but it's really hard to find good live streamers. I mean, I think live streamers are going to become famous, like personalities, and, you know, people are going to hire them. And because if you can sell, it's like the late 90s, you know, sports cards on TV. The shop at home days.
Oh,
you know,
my God.
Don, I don't know if you know
Don
West.
What's his name? Don. He was great, but it was like, you seen the video where he's like, if you don't buy this, how are you going to wake up in the morning? The next day, you're not even going to be able to look in the mirror. He was the greatest salesman of all time.
He was amazing. And so that was the part the main 2 guys that were selling on TV, I was providing them with a ton of inventory, and they were buying with reckless, you know, because they were selling on TV and killing it. But so, yeah, Don was hilarious, but the TV days were wild, man. Like,
you'll walk into that bar and they'll be like, there's Rick. He knows how to make a decision. He goes all in.
If you miss out on this, you're not going to.
If you miss out, you're not going to be able to look yourself in the mirror tomorrow. I was like, and I was watching going, I don't want to miss out. And then I'm like, oh shit. I was like, he was awesome. He was so good at it. But I'm learning from him. Getting serious over there with my kids.
They would do like limit 5 per caller, and then like you'd have people calling in and like have their mom calling for them, and
yeah,
like, you know,
oh my God.
Hey, can we order you know, just but have them shipped to the same address, but it's a different person trying to get more, you know.
Yeah, exactly. FOMO, man. That's what it is. Fear of missing out. That's what live shopping is, though. It's like every great marketing characteristic, like built into one. You've got the last 10 seconds. So FOMO, you're racing against the clock. You don't want to miss out. It's just everything kind of coming together.
And the thrill of getting the deal. I mean, when we auction stuff, like I said, like sometimes like stuff goes over market. Yeah, stuff goes over market. A lot of times stuff goes under market. So like there are plenty of times where I see it, I'm like, holy shit, like that was $100 card that just sold for $40. Like that guy's, you know, which is good. Like that guy's going to come back and keep buying like crazy.
That's the arbitrage today, because I get in there and I've done both. You know, like I tend to not be the guy that goes over just to win, but like sometimes I've got a wrong number on a card because there's so many damn cards. I'm like, that's probably $20 over market, or, you know.
Knowing the market. I mean, this is where in real time, when you're running a 30-second auction, you need to make those gut calls. And if you do know the market and something's selling for 80%, like, you know, and he's spending a lot of money. And I mean, we do that too. I go in there and pick stuff off. Sometimes the collector in me comes out, and then I end up overpaying for some stuff that I just want for my person. But that's kind of the fun in it. Like, you know, when am I going to see this again? But there's definitely just a ton of money to be made. You just have to just spend the time and just get educated, and really, you know, don't jump all in and just, you know, spend a ton of money. Like, just put a lot of hours in understanding everything before you, you know, go big.
Yeah. And that's sort of my superpower. Like, I'm the most curious person on the planet. I go down the rabbit hole, like, and I'm down the rabbit hole in this business. Like, I'm way down it right now, like just observing, watching, and curious, don't know it all, learning from guys like you, watching the market and stuff like that, because there is stuff to be made. It's just like anything else, though. It's not immediate $12,000 to $200,000 boxes like it used to be. But like anything else, he who goes the furthest often wins.
You see something you like in our pack rips on the show? Check out the Rad Collective eBay store and eBay live shows at ebaylivestore.com or at breakingrad.com. All the cards we rip on the show will be available on both platforms.
When Jason looks down the road and goes, man, you're taking care of your kids, your family. I mean, like, where are we headed with all this?
Yeah, I'm in this where my kids are all, I think our kids are in the similar age, I'm like 10, 8, 7, 6. So it's like, I am trying to pull back a little bit, and when I say pull back a little bit, it's like going from 80 hours a week to, 50 hours a week. I enjoy this. Like, I enjoy business. I don't know about you. When I go on vacation, after day 3, I'm jonesing to get home. It really takes it's hard. So I see me doing this forever. I'll keep shifting with it, and I think talking with a lot of these younger guys and just molding. I've always done that, but I just love it so much that it doesn't feel like work. And so I think we're going to be doing this for a while, man. It's just I'm blessed to be in a spot where I have good managers underneath me. So when I do want to, I'm like, hey, I got kids sporting, I got soccer games, I got basketball. Like, I'm not doing anything right now. I'm going to go do that. So I do feel like I set myself up for that, the 15 years leading up to where we're at today. I do get a lot of hate when people, they think like they see where I'm at now and it's like they think this happened in the last year or two. Yeah. Not the case at all. And it's and it's just the world we live in today. Everybody wants, money overnight, and it's not the reality. And, even in the middle, like going broke in the middle of this, like, really learned to put me in a different mindset. So, yeah, I love, planning the next 3 to 6 months out, and then I email it to myself, and then 6 months, kind of seeing how far we made it, if we surpassed it. And a lot of times, and I keep all these emails, and I'm just like, I'm looking back at goals from 2022, and it's like, holy shit, not only did we hit that goal, it's like 100 million in sales in a year was like a big deal for us. And we hit that, and this year we're going to surpass that, hopefully by a decent amount. But that was something that seemed crazy, and now we're there. So it's like, now I got to set new goals and keep moving. I think people that are wired in this weird sickness entrepreneur that we all have, you're always moving the goalpost. Yeah. And for better or worse, it's a blessing and a curse, I think, because I think there's some people that get to the goalpost and they're happy and they can just chill. I think someone who's really dialed in, they get to the goal, they enjoy it for about 10 minutes, and they say, okay, let's move that goalpost back again and see what else we can do. So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
They say the journey is everything now, and I think the longer I do what I do, it proves to be true. And it's in almost everything, because even like you said, my kids get excited about opening a box. We get excited, and you open the packs and you get it. You might get the Jaden Daniels best card ever auto. 10 minutes later, it's what's next, and it's not because they can't get enough, but it's more, I look at it more like you said, it's that the journey, the excitement of, building up to wanting that card or wanting that goal in business or all those things. I think the truly motivated are just looking for the next journey and the next challenge.
100%.
Hey man, where can everybody keep up with everything you guys are doing, where to find you, the company, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah, so the website's just 4 letters, OTIA.com. On social media, OTIA Sports. On Whatnot, OTIA Rips. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much all under one umbrella. If you Google the OTIA Sports or OTIA, you'll find us, and you'll join some of our live streams, and enjoy the shows and have fun and bid responsibly.
Yes, got to put that disclaimer on there. Jason, really appreciate you for coming on the show, and it's been great. I consider you a friend now and look forward to future opportunities.
Ryan, thank you so much for having me on. It was a lot of fun.
Hey guys, you know where to find us. Go check us out on YouTube. We got a fast growing page over there. Watch all the content. You'll find links to all of Jason's stuff, OTIA, Rips, all the stuff they're doing over on Whatnot and on the website. We appreciate Jason for coming on, and we appreciate you. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for tuning in to the show. Don't forget to follow us on your favorite podcast platform, and don't miss the full video version on YouTube. You can find us at www.collectibles.show or follow Ryan on Instagram at Ryan Alford. Now get out there and collect yours.